Let's talk to Nicky Wire. Nicky, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Victoria.
Thanks for coming on the programme. Right, we've got William Orbit here, we've got Paul Stokes from NME, we've got Colin Patterson. Tell us how you feel about being in a battle with Phil Collins again.
Scary. We're number one on the first midweek today, but I think we might have to bow down to the power of the Collins Meister by the end of the week. You never know, though. We live in hope.
Tell us about this album, then. You've said, I think, metal meets Motown, Van Halen meets the Supremes.
You know me, I talk a lot of rubbish all the time. But we're just, 10th album, it's just a rarity in the modern age to get our 10th album to still be relevant, selling records and tickets and being in the NME and all those things. So we just thought it's like a celebration. It's a bit of a pick and mix of the glory of the band, really.
Yeah. William, tell Nicky what you thought of the album.
It's great, Nicky, that it sounds like an album. It's got that, and I love the songwriting. I'm not really familiar with your previous, your canon of work, so I've just come at it from this one, and I've been enjoying it. If I was on a road trip, I could listen to this several times through, enjoy.
Thank you very much. I must admit, I did like the album you produced for Blur. Very good, 13. Very good album.
Cheers.
I would say this is classic Manic Street Preachers, which is why I've loved it. Because is that fair, Paul? Would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got that real sort of big, quite ballsy Manic Street Preachers sound. Nicky, one thing I was wondering is after the last record, when obviously you were using lyrics that were written by Richey, and this one obviously you're back in, with writing the lyrics. Was there a lot you wanted to get out because you'd had an album off, or did it come as per normal?
Yeah, no, it was obviously. When we were recording Journal for Plague Lovers, it gave me a chance to store up a lot of lyrics, and there's so much to write about, in the world today. Quite a few tunes as well. So, I think this is our third album in 4 years. All kind of, for old fellas, we've been very productive the last 4 years of our life.
It made me think that you'd sat down as a band and gone, right, let's try and write the most commercial album we possibly can. Is there any truth to that?
I think it was more natural than that, because anyone who knows our history right from the start, from Generation Terrace onwards, there's always been that dichotomy in the band where sometimes we just want to be glorious, commercial and colourful cartoons, and other times when we're just really miserable and internalised darkness. And this album just felt like a massive relief. And there is a celebration of the album, the album people think is a dying art form, and we really wanted to think there is significance getting to our 10th one, so we just thought let's just make it as good as we can.
Things that reminded me of while I was listening, and I mean these in good ways: Queen, White Snake, Green Day, the Rocky Horror Show, the Going for Gold theme, all those things.
It's not as good as I was hoping, if I'm being honest. I'll take Queen out of there.
Yeah.
What do you make of Sacha Baron Cohen being cast as Freddie Mercury in the movie?
Look, there's only one Freddie.
Yeah.
There'll never be another, Although I did try and get James to join Queen when they got Paul Rodgers in. I think our James would have been, he's the only person who could sing as good as Fred.
Did you say this album was a relief or a release?
Both, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a release, because anyone knows, like an album like Everything Must Go, back in the day, that was just a sort of Spectre-esque wall of sound with loads of strings, and I think this is a cousin to that record. And sometimes you just feel like opening up with a lot of honesty in the music and kind of escapist in the music. The lyrics are always going to be us, but I think the music on this record is slightly more escapist.
Nicky, how do you sort of judge the fan reaction to your records? Because my favourite Manics record so far is Gold Against the Soul, which I'm told by real Manic Street Preachers fans is no, that's completely wrong. I've got that wrong. How do you find it, where you get sort of people picking up to you on different aspects, and like you say, the records do change from album to album?
I think that's the glory of having a catalogue like us. I mean, I love the fact that if we go to Japan, people just want to hear the first record. There's a large section of people in Britain that just want to hear the Holy Bible and Journal for Plague Lovers. If we go to Singapore, they just want to hear This Is My True Time of Yours, and something we're pretty proud of. All my favourite bands growing up, be it the Stones or the Who, whatever, you could sort of pick and mix their favourite albums, and there's some. I'm quite happy that some of our fans just don't like some of our albums.
And in 10 seconds, why Tim Roth on the cover?
It's just symbolic of our youth, really. King of the Ghetto, made in Britain, just working class kid, made good, anger, rage. That sums us up.
And you can beat Phil Collins.
Yes.
So.
Thank you very much for talking to us, Nicky.
No
Good
problem.
to have you on the programme. Nicky Wire from Manic Street Preachers. Their album is Postcards from a Young Man.